The Super Media Bros podcast is a founding member of the OddPods Media Network. Oh, holy shit, you showed up, dude?
Yeah, I sure did.
So basically, peak Tim Allen and peak Will Ferrell.
This was like fresh out of SNL, but before Step Brothers and Ricky Bobby and all that shit. But,
Right.
like, this was where that era where the man could do no wrong.
Yeah. Welcome to episode 204 of the Super Media Bros podcast, Santa Media Bros 2021. I'm Midnight Agent Raw.
And I'm Special Delivery Dev.
It is Cult Cinema Showdown 89, Elf versus the Santa Claus, and god damn! Dude, can you believe these movies are both 20 and almost 30 years old?
God damn. Dude,
Yeah.
Dude, okay. So I wasn't born yet for the Santa Claus, but I was obviously for Elf. Do you know where I saw Elf for the first time?
Where?
Do you remember that dollar movie theater in Lake Charles?
It's literally right over here from where we're staying at right now. It's right by the old Kmart.
See, I was so little, and it's been shut down for so long. And also, whenever we would just go there and then go back home. So, like, I never really explored this side of town. So I didn't know that. But you remember how they fucking had, like, it was all movies that was, like, not on DVD yet, but they weren't in your regular theater.
They left the new theaters like 2 months prior, and then they were over here for about $3.50.
You walk in, and immediately, somehow, right at the door, you're already stepping on, like, sticky butter and shit. You can't move a muscle during the entire movie because you'll just hear... You know what I'm talking about.
It's where I saw Sin City and Grindhouse for the first time.
Wow. See those...
Perfect setting.
My mama would have beat my ass for seeing either one of those.
Perfect setting.
Oh, that's wonderful, though. Now, in theaters, did Grindhouse have like an intermission?
Yes.
Like, okay. Because, see, like I said, I was too little. But no, that's where I saw Elf and Garfield and Cars, actually. I saw a lot of shit over there. RV. Oh, what was that Madagascar knockoff that actually turned out to not be a knockoff? The Wild. That's what it was. Like, I saw that shit. But no, Elf I saw over there, and it was the trashiest fucking theater. But at the same time, you're a little kid, and you're just watching this Christmas classic in the making. And God, man, it was just insane. Like, looking back now, like, things like this or The Dark Knight, where you look back and it's like, dude, I was just a kid going to the movies. Now it's this iconic staple that I was around for its inception.
Right. That's how it is for me for the Santa Claus, because it came out whenever I was 8.
Dude, and I wasn't even born yet. Like, how crazy is that?
No, even crazier. You know what else came out the same year Santa Claus came out? Toy Story 1.
As soon as you asked, I knew it. Like, but I was going to let you finish your thought, but it's like, bro, like, the first fully rendered CG film. And people thought that it was going to flop. The studio execs were like, yeah, we should probably put this straight to DVD because nobody's going to fucking watch this shit.
Imbeciles, all of them.
God damn, dude.
These movies old as shit.
I know, man. Dude, as I was watching the Santa Claus, I texted you while I was taking a shit because I had it on my phone so I could just go about my business. And, dude, I took one look at Tim Allen and I had to pause it and text you and be like, damn, this man young as fuck.
I know. I saw that text message and I was like, fuck, I keep forgetting that movies that I think I'm just like, oh man, this is old. This come out almost 30 years ago. Like, it's a 27-year-old movie. I'm like, man, this is fucking old. It's even older for you.
Yeah. Like I said, man, this movie... I was not born. Like this is like, okay, hold on, pause. I have a question. You might know the answer to this. When was, let's just say the middle season, just like in the midst of the whole thing, when was Home Improvement out?
Home Improvement, I want to say it was like 1991, 92.
Okay, because god damn, dude. Because he had darkened his hair and cut it down for this role. So it's like, in that aspect, he looked older. But I also wasn't sure when the show was coming out.
Well, so Santa Claus came out in 1994. So this was probably like, okay, so Home Improvement had a run from 1991 through 99. So this was like literally almost halfway through its run as a sitcom.
Okay.
So again, I say peak Tim Allen, and that's only because, like, let's face it, outside of the Toy Story sequels, this was peak Tim Allen.
Absolutely. Dude, aside from this series, Toy Story, and Home Improvement, I can't think of a whole lot that he has done. Like, there are some little sprinkles and whatnot, but nothing that's, like, classic.
Yeah, I mean, most recently, like, Last Man Standing was, like, the thing that he was doing.
Yes.
Now, on the other side of the coin, this is something we were mentioning in conversation, this is kind of peak Will Ferrell, too. And it's not necessarily even peak Will Ferrell. This is, like, I'm fresh out of SNL. I am establishing who I am as a solo comedy actor. Old School was a thing.
Yeah.
Elf is a thing, which it's crazy because Will Ferrell, I kind of have a love-hate with Will Ferrell only because I think some of the shit he's done is stupid annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the shit he does is pretty goddamn hilarious.
Right.
It's wild seeing Will Ferrell do family shit because I'm so used to how raunchy he is.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll be goddamn, and I used to shit on this movie, but I think it's because of the fact that when it had come out in the first 10 years, it just got shoved down my throat.
Right.
It was everywhere. It was quoted a lot, but I guess I didn't realize at the time that that was a literal cult classic in the making.
Yeah. You know what? You are going to have a long talk with me after recording, but I think that's your issue with A Christmas Story. I don't think that it is the quality of film per se. I think that you are just annoyed with how bombarded you are with it every year.
I am annoyed with the fact that people think that is one of the greatest Christmas movies that has ever existed because I think it is mediocre as shit and it's a fucking terrible movie.
I don't know if I believe you.
I think it's fucking horrible.
I don't believe you.
I have tried to watch it. Alex's dad has called me a Christmas-hating bastard for that. I fucking hate that movie. Like, I would cover it on this show and try to be subjective about it, but I don't think I can.
I don't believe you. And I'm not even defending the movie. I'm just calling you out on your bullshit.
You really don't believe me?
I don't. I think that deep down you're like, it's all right.
Fuck, no. No, I want to punch that little bastard in his face and break his fucking glasses and curb stomp him. I hate that fucking movie.
Okay, I understand the hate for the kid, but...
No, I hate the movie. I fucking hate it. The entire goddamn shit. Like, it's dumb. It's fucking dumb. And the fact that Turner Broadcasting thinks it's good enough to run 24 hours straight on its television programming, God.
See, you know why I at least appreciate it? Number one is how accurate it is to the book. We were talking about that the other day.
Right.
I appreciate the fact that they did that. As far as the film itself, its own entity. A lot of things I recognize from my own childhood. Wanting a BB gun and everybody's like, no, you don't need that shit. No. And then whenever you finally convince them and you get it, they were kind of right. You didn't need that shit.
Right.
I appreciated whenever he was trying to decode that shit, and it turned out just to be a just a commercial. Just some stupid bullshit. But you spent so much time thinking you have achieved greatness. All while your mom is on the other side of the bedroom yelling at you, come on, let's go. And you're like, God damn it. Because you think you are in the middle of something very important. You are going to achieve greatness. And all it is just an ad. That was my childhood in a lot of instances. And I think that's why I'm so shocked that you don't like it, because I would have pegged you to have had the same experiences.
You forget that I was raised Jehovah's Witness by my fucking dad's side of the family, so I didn't get to celebrate Christmas. I didn't celebrate holidays growing up.
Okay. That might be the disconnect, sir.
It's definitely not the disconnect, because I enjoy Christmas movies in general. I just think this one's a pile of shit.
The listeners are probably like, I thought we were doing a Cult Cinema Showdown.
I'm just saying I hate the fucking movie. But yeah, like peak Elf. Peak Will Ferrell and peak Tim Allen. Let's get into Elf, dude, because I'll admit I hated this movie too because of the goddamn overexposure.
Mm-hmm.
However, upon rewatching it after 10 years of not watching this motherfucker, I found some charming aspects to it. Is it the greatest? Not really. Is it still kind of fun to watch? Yeah, because it goes to the whole idea where you got Will Ferrell being a fan, like doing family comedy.
Yeah.
There are several sequences in here where I'm going, you know what? Nobody else could have done this.
Oh, it's like Bob Saget in Full House. You know, I mean, he cut his teeth doing some raunchy ass stand-up, and now he's like the corniest motherfucker to ever grace television.
And then he like made full circle back to being raunchy and asswipe, you know? So it's there you go.
Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy though. Like, you know, Jon Favreau did this movie, right?
Yeah. That blew my fucking mind whenever it was after the first Iron Man came out. And then it was 7th grade. Yeah, 7th grade. We rewatched Elf for Christmas. And at the time, I hadn't seen it in a handful of years, you know? And as soon as Jon Favreau's name popped up on the writing, director, all that shit, opening credits, I was like, right there. I know that.
You did the fucking Leo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. There we go.
Exactly. So the plot, we're not going to spend a lot of time on these movies, honestly.
You've all seen them.
Yeah, you've all seen these movies. And like, plus, like, Elf is on HBO Max, Santa Claus is on Disney Plus. Chances are you all have both of these streaming programs out there, or you own physical copies of these movies.
Yep.
So the plot for Elf is that Buddy, who is, it's not even his real name, but that's what he gets named in the North Pole because he sneaks into Santa Claus's sack on Christmas Eve, his ball sack. And then he transports to the North Pole where Santa comes him out in front of all the elves.
What the fuck? Yo!
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about Slut Elf. Hang on.
Wrong movie.
Okay, so on Christmas Eve, a baby at an orphanage crawls into Santa Claus's present sack. Okay. And he gets taken back to the North Pole and basically gets discovered at the workshop. And then instead of taking the child back, they're like, this elf that has been working there forever is like, I've always wanted a family. I'll adopt this kid.
Ain't that some shit, too? Because they ain't
even, bro, I wouldn't want to be an elf. They ain't got time to fuck.
Hold on. Pause as a motherfucker, though. So this man has been here for, did they say how long? Because it's established that the elves grow very slowly. They age very slowly.
He's had to have been doing this for, God, hundreds of years.
And he's just like, and he's our equivalent to like 65, and he's like, I've always wanted a family. And it's like, hold on, how fucking long has this been for you, you poor bastard?
Right. Like, he probably goes to masturbate, and he goes, like, it just dust
just
fucking
dust.
shoots out. Yeah. He's just like, I can't even have my own kid.
That shit from White Chicks whenever they go, your mama's so old, she breastfeed like this.
Exactly.
Dude, but okay, as I was watching this and that whole sequence was happening, I was like, bruh, both of these movies are low-key kind of dark.
They really are. We'll get into why Santa Claus is, but this one especially, yeah.
Because you're just watching it and it's like, this is a really morbid film just coated with sugar.
And syrup and Coca-Cola. And candy corn.
And we wonder why my generation came out so fucking cynical. Really look back at all of the movies and cartoons we watched. We some assholes for a reason. Y'all did this to us.
We did not do this.
Okay, no, but would it be the boomers?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
The very ones that complain about us. Mm-hmm. They did this to us.
That's right.
Perfect.
Yeah. So years later, like, he's grown up, obviously human sized because he's a fucking human, but he believes that he's a goddamn elf. But he gets told that he's a human because, like, he sucks at building shit, and they're just like, oh yeah, he sucks at building shit, and he just kind of overhears it because he's giant, and he just peek it over like, he's peeking over. It would be funny. Like, they could have really went the R-rated route with this movie. Elf doesn't go to New York to find his dad. he fucking goes Bruce Willis Die Hard on this entire fucking North Pole community where they're just like, he can't build for shit. And he just peeks over, you just, and he just looks down. He's just like, there, you've been talking shit. And he just like, he fucking like fashions some like shanks out of candy canes and just sucks them into points and just stabs them all and shit. And he fucking builds a goddamn toy model elf out of body parts of all the elves.
Just a fucking Mechazord of elves.
God! Oh, Jesus Christ, that would be great. And then he's just like, you know, I've seen a couple of episodes of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and he and that fucker just
he's using the fucking like a severed arm as the flute that the Green Ranger used.
Yes. Oh God. But yeah. Oh God. I would have given anything for that.
You know what? I'm convinced that Will Ferrell actually said some bullshit like this on set and was like, John, I think it'd be really funny if we did. And then he just spouts off some fucking nonsense.
Wouldn't be surprised because like they didn't get along during this production.
Really?
That's a big reason the second one never happened. Like he didn't think it would be good enough, but he didn't want to do it if Jon Favreau came back.
Wow. What was the issue?
Will Ferrell was hard to work with, apparently.
Huh. I did not know this.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of instances where he's kind of a jerk, but that's neither here nor there. So he overhears him talking shit. And then they finally tell him, well, like, you're a human. So they just send him off to fucking New York because they tell him, yo, your dad's in New York. He's a book publisher. And there's where like all the hijinks ensue. Like he shows up to New York and he's fucking eating gum off the damn sidewalk and the handrails and it's fucking gross, even though they told him not to do it. The scene that, like, there's several scenes that crack me up. Like when he walks across that fucking one coffee shop, then it's like best coffee in the world and it's on a sign. Like everybody says, like, oh, we've got the best sandwiches, the best, you know, subs. We've got the best pizza. He just walks in there. Congratulations! You did it! Best coffee in the world! And they're just like, just blink. Like you just hear the skin slap of their fucking eyelids because it's fucking New York, dude.
Dude, and this movie is my childhood, so like even the lamest fucking jokes get something out of me.
Me too. And Will Ferrell is one of the most enthusiastic actors. Like as far as like if he's got material where he's gonna be excited about something, you believe it.
Yeah.
And that goes into like later on where he gets, you know, a job at the mall at this department store where he's like an elf because he's dressed like an elf and the manager's like, well, I guess he's one of the new holiday helpers or whatever the fuck, and he can do all this shit where he can fashion anything out of a fucking piece of construction paper because like he's done it his whole life. And
it's so funny. It's so funny because in the North Pole he's so bad, and yet in regular settings
he's genius.
Yeah, it's like, bruh, you ought to see this man was an outcast.
They hated his ass up there. Not necessarily hated him, but they were just like, God, this guy sucks. But he comes down to the fucking, oh my God. Look, okay, so again, like just to drive the point home about how enthusiastic he is, whenever the fucking manager is talking about the mall Santa that's going to be coming in, he's like, oh yeah, everybody be here. 10 a.m. Santa's coming to, do Santa!
Oh my God! Santa's coming!
Died. Like, I can't even do it justice because like, he like the way he just jumps up and like it reminds me of the Spartan cheerleader shit from SNL with him and Sherry O'Terry, how excited he got. I was like, God damn it.
He's so good.
He really is, dude.
Whenever he's got something to work with. Now, whenever you get him Holmes and Watson and all that shit, it's pretty bad. But
you can tell when he's phoning it in.
Oh yeah. Like I said, dude, this Semi-Pro, Step Brothers, Talladega Nights, like those four, it's like, see, this is what you can do.
Exactly. And there's even a couple of other things that he's done, like Stranger Than Fiction was a really great movie, you know, when he does like his serious roles. But yeah, give the man like some substance to work with. And especially if he's got a hand in its creation or if he's like producer or he's writing something.
Yeah, he's a smart man. I want to say he went to Harvard, was it?
I believe.
Yeah. Like, he's not like some dumbass by any means.
Right. But he finds his dad eventually because his, like when he goes in there, he keeps trying to tell him everything, and he goes in and they think he's a Christmasgram messenger. And he gets fucking kicked out. But that's when he goes to the department store and he meets Jovi, which is Zooey Deschanel.
Yes.
Which I think this might be one of the first things I saw her in.
Oh, it had to have been my first. Because, like, aside from this and New Girl, nothing was really out yet that was on my radar at the time. Like, at that time, I wasn't even watching New Girl, but I knew of its existence, at least.
Well, I remember The New Guy with DJ Qualls, where he's that kid that gets kicked out of school, and he dresses up, or he poses as an ex-con, like a bad boy. It's a fucking funny movie, but she plays one of his bandmates in that movie, and it's fucking great. That and this were the first things I remember seeing her in. Okay. And she's good at it, and I think it was also kind of a vehicle to be like, oh, she can sing too.
Yeah, she was really fucking good.
Right.
Dude, we talk about Will Ferrell's casting and everything and how that is spot on. She did very well too, because you could tell that she was a vibrant person underneath, but she could do a resting bitch face.
She's good at it.
Yeah. Like, not very many people that I can think of could have done just that.
I really like her character's name. Think about it. Jovial.
Oh, shit.
Like Jovi.
Yeah.
Like, that's because she does have a very jovial personality in the movie, outside of the RBF. Because, like, when she's singing, like, you can tell, like, she's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that was kind of, like, it may not be why they named her that, but that's how I see it. Because, like, she's unenthusiastic at the job, but you could tell, like, she's enthusiastic elsewhere.
Right.
So, they eventually become a thing. Her and Buddy eventually become a thing.
Good job.
Oh, yeah. And
that's a catch, buddy.
So we go and they do the whole DNA testing where Jon Favreau plays the doctor.
And my man kept eating the fucking cotton.
Oh, God. Yeah, he did. Bruh. Ugh. So he finds out, hey, that's my kid. He's like, there's no fucking way. But because, Buddy knows exactly who the mom and all this other shit was. And his current son and wife are just like, well, the wife is very accepting.
Yeah.
They have dinner with him, and he's putting fucking syrup all over his spaghetti, and he drinks that whole goddamn 2-liter of Coca-Cola. I mean, I think him and the fucking kid from Home Sweet Home Alone would get along just fine.
Yeah, right? God damn, dude.
Little soda chugging bastard.
You know what, though? This is just me, because I love sweet and salty. Syrup on spaghetti, that don't sound too bad.
I would actually try a bite of that.
Yeah. Like, I can see myself actually eating it, like, regularly.
However, when he stays home and they go to work and he's, like, reheating the leftovers the next morning, he's destroyed the television set console, like, to build the fucking, like, furniture that he makes and the hobby horse or whatever. And he fucking, like, sacks up the spaghetti, but he's sitting there eating his own spaghetti and he's breaking, like, chocolate Pop-Tarts over it, syrup and, like,
M&M's or something, I think.
And he's just smashing them in with his hands. Dude, I was like, oh, like, it was like I was going to go into a diabetic coma watching this happen.
I would like to think that this was actual food that this man ate.
Well, he talks about it at the dinner table. He's just sitting there like the food crews. But, like, you think he really for real ate this shit on set?
Oh, yeah. I would like to think so.
Just to stay in character.
Yeah. I can see it. I can see Will Ferrell doing that shit.
You know what? I'll go with that. So more of the plot moves along is that the publishing company has a book that flops, and Walter, who is Buddy's dad, is supposed to have a new book is ready by Christmas Eve. And they secure this, like, meeting with Miles Finch, who's this big time hotshot children's author. And Buddy, by this point, has started dressing like his dad to go to work because he's like, you got to lose the fucking elf costume and all this other shit. And in walks our boy,
Peter Dinklage.
I love Peter Dinklage so fucking much.
Dude, and what's kind of ironic is Peter Dinklage, like, turned down so many roles because they pitched him different elf roles. And he was like, no, do not undermine my ability as an actor.
Funny use of that word.
Fuck you.
No, it was great.
But no, he respected himself.
Of course.
And he didn't want to do that to his own career.
And to his credit, having the balls to turn the fucking roles down did him wonders.
Dude, like, goddamn, we can go into the psychology of that all day long, but no, like, it's funny because here he is in this movie being mistaken for an elf, and he's just like, yeah, but it's a comedy, so we're good.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he knew, he understood it. They weren't poking fun at him.
No, he was in on the joke. So,
Yeah.
to me, if he is in on the joke, then go for it.
Right.
But Buddy mistakes him for, like, being an elf. He thinks that he is an actual elf. Because he's fucking sitting there and he's just like, yeah, you're an elf. He's an angry elf. And Dinklage winds up beating the shit out of him. Like, he crawls over the table and just stomps a mud hole in his ass and walks it dry.
Just as a kid, I was like, what the fuck am I watching?
There's another, okay, so I forgot to mention this whenever he fights the mall Santa.
Oh my God.
Because the Santa Claus shows up the next day after Buddy got, the whole thing ready in the department store. And he was just looking at him. He's like, what did you tell me? He's like, you smell like beef and cheese. You sit on a throne of lies.
Yeah.
Fucking rips his beard off and calls him a fake. And dude, is it just me or does Will Ferrell have like a fight scene that is this ridiculous in every one of his movies?
Oh yeah. Blades of Glory. That's a good one.
Fucking Talladega Nights. This movie, he crashes through this whole Lego set that he built, and it's funny because the whole time he's just happy and he's like, oh, he's a fake, and he just tussling with this motherfucker.
Like, he thinks he's being a hero.
Right. And again, like this is where he gets his ass whooped by Peter Dinklage, and this is where the movie gets a little dark because the dad, like, for all intents and purposes, like the dad, could have just been like, from the very jump, like, fuck this shit and just whatever. But like begrudgingly agrees to take him in. And Buddy is the whole time he's just like, Dad, I love you. The whole fucking time, having never met him, he's like, he already loves his dad. After this happens, he basically just like belittles him in front of God and everybody in this fucking board meeting and tells him just to get the fuck out of his life.
Well, hold on. I got one for you. You're a father.
Yes.
All right. If a fucking 35, 40-year-old man dressed as an elf comes up to you and it is scientifically proven that is your kid, but he seems a little off, and even to this extent, to this degree, he is off kilter, and you cannot convince him otherwise. What are you doing? What are you doing? What is Richie doing? How are you going to assess the situation and damage?
Have I already gotten professional help with him? Or this is like shown up on my doorstep out of nowhere?
The events of this film are happening to you.
I don't necessarily feel like I would tell him to get the fuck out of my life, but we would absolutely have to see somebody or
we
something.
have to rehabilitate him.
And not even necessarily that. Like, just make sure the dude's okay and he's not going to hurt himself or anybody else.
Yeah, because in the real world setting, this is where it gets dark too. It's just the concept of this film. It's like, if you're at this age and you're convinced of this shit, bruh, you a little fucked up.
Yeah, well, like the dark part that I see is the whole idea that your own family doesn't want you. Like, you've been led to believe one thing your whole life that's not real. So you choose to pursue the reality of your life and you're not even wanted. And you feel like you're not wanted on either side of that coin. That sucks.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of walking around, doesn't go home. And he writes, which this was a little funny. Like, it's sad because like it's supposed to be sad, but it's kind of funny how he writes this entire apology note on an Etch-a-Sketch.
I know.
And he fucking just leaves the apartment, and his brother, because I mean, let's face it is his brother, finds this shit and hauls ass to the book pitch. And I guess for some reason, because everybody like called him like a dick for this or whatever, but he's pitching this book And his other kid walks in and basically convinces him to go find Buddy. And he pretty much tells the dude, up yours.
Yeah.
And he fucking leaves. And Santa Claus is actually coming for Christmas. And he's like, oh, my engine is losing its power because there's no Christmas spirit. And as we know, Walter has none at all. So Jovi sees all this shit happening on the news, so she goes to Central Park and there's little by little they convince, everybody, oh, that's fucking Santa Claus. This is not just an elf, blah, blah, blah. And finally she starts singing Santa Claus is coming to town in front of God and everybody because she talked about earlier in the movie how she doesn't like to sing in front of anybody. She got stage fright. So we power the engine on the sled or the sleigh and everybody on TV is singing and everybody watching is singing. And then finally the dad starts fucking singing, and that is what gives the sleigh power enough to get Christmas saved for everybody. The dad starts his own company, writes a book about literally these events called Elf, which gets very meta. Buddy and Jovi get married and have a daughter, and I guess they spend time between New York and the North Pole because he goes and sits on his elf dad's lap with the kid. He's just like, Buddy... and he just heart attacks and dies.
I know, right? God damn.
That poor old bastard.
Motherfucker's like 1,000 years old. Leave him alone.
And that's Elf. We're going to take a quick break and come back with the Santa Claus. 2022 is on its way, and the last thing you want to be is the guy with pubes getting in your way of making this the best year of your life. 2021 sucked, and that's why Manscaped is making a splash and upping your grooming game. Their signature Lawnmower 4.0 is here to take down every pube in its path.
Manscaped engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and an incredibly comfortable grooming experience. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to the advanced skin-safe technology. Yo, it's even waterproof! Dude, did you know that? Did you know that it was waterproof?
Yeah, I knew it was waterproof. I know, right? This tool is amazing, and you should feel confident using the 4.0 to leave 2021 and your gross pubes with it. You know what else that you should feel confident about? Smelling like $1,000,000. And you may be asking yourself, how? And I'm glad you did. I use the Manscaped Refined Cologne with the same signature scent that's in all of the Manscaped formulas. It's a great complement to your collection.
Let's talk about being clean, feeling and smelling good.
Yes, let's. The new Ultra Premium Body Wash from Manscaped solves all 3 of these problems for the perfect addition to your daily grooming routine, but in the shower. I shower every day and I hope you do too.
Only when I'm dirty. This body wash is infused with aloe vera and sea salt to keep your skin feeling clean, nice, and moisturized. With Manscaped, you'll be a brand new man and ready to kick all the gross smells out with 2021.
Use our code SUPER for 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. Again, that's 20% off with free shipping with our code SUPER at manscaped.com.
I'm all in on confidence and smelling good this new year. Join me with Manscaped.
Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SUPER at manscaped.com. Once again, that's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com using our code SUPER. Ring in the new year with some fresh balls. Thanks, Manscaped.
You're the best.
Hi, I'm Lauren.
And I'm John.
And we host the Beard Owl Podcast, the podcast where we talk about 2 of the greatest things in the world, beer and Weird Al.
And a bunch of other stuff.
That's right. Do you like nostalgia? Do you like sibling banter? Do you like beer? Do you like Weird Al? Are you human?
If you answered yes to any of those questions, give us a listen. Become one of our loyal commenters.
All right, and we're back. And it's time to go into The Santa Claus, which is a 1994 Christmas comedy drama.
Damn, you old as fuck.
Yeah, I am old as fuck. But I'm going to tell you something right now. This movie, it actually is a lot sad to me. Because, like, the plot is that Scott Calvin is a toy salesman, and he's going through a divorce and having visitation with his son, Charlie. Now, Charlie is not really believing in Santa Claus anymore because Laura, who is his mom, is dating this psychiatrist played by Judge Reinhold.
Can I just say, that motherfucker got the most soothing voice.
Judge Reinhold?
Yeah. Like, I was just listening to him because I was watching this movie with headphones.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, read me a bedtime story.
Right. This motherfucker's got some good dulcet tones in that motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah, Judge Reinhold, because he's very calm and he's just like I can quote the line from Beverly Hills Cop whenever he's talking to Taggart.
Yeah.
He's just like, it says that the average person has about 12 pounds of undigested red meat in his bowels by the time he dies. And he's just like, what the fuck? Just looking at me. He's like, what makes you think I'd have any interest in that? Well, you eat a lot of red meat. Like, just calm. But yeah, so he's this psychiatrist and shit. And, they're like, oh, well, you shouldn't believe in Santa Claus and all this other shit like that. An older kid tells him that he's not real. So they're just like, oh yeah, Santa's not real. Well, Scott is kind of like he's there for him, but he's not. Like, he seems like he's kind of just wrapped up in his career and shit.
I was going to say, he's doing his best. You never get the sense that he's a bad father. He's just a very busy one.
Yeah, and his priorities are not in check.
Right.
So he's spending Christmas Eve with his kid, and they wind up going to Denny's because he fucks dinner up, and the kid just does not want to be there. And he's just told his mom, come get me as early as possible in the morning. So Santa Claus actually fucking shows up after Scott reads, the night before Christmas to him for bed. And as Scott goes outside and looks up, he basically spooks Santa Claus and he falls off the roof and fucking dies.
The little boy, he's like, you killed him, bruh. And this was a moment where I texted you, I was like, bruh, this shit dark. Like, really think about the executive conversation of pitching this movie. All right, so I got this idea for a new Christmas classic. Well, we open up with Tim Allen, and he kills Santa, and then he sneaks into everybody's houses as Santa, and he's going through a divorce and a midlife crisis, and everybody doesn't believe him that he's Santa, and then they arrest him.
That's perfect. $22 million. Get it done.
Like, what the fuck?
I know.
What was Disney thinking? Like, obviously they hit a gold mine, but I'm just saying, like, what the fuck? How is this a Disney movie?
This was on their Hollywood Pictures label.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
there it is.
yeah, exactly. So basically, the ex-wife and the new boyfriend think he's nuts because that night he puts the suit on begrudgingly and he makes some deliveries of Santa, and he goes to the North Pole, and he meets all the fucking elves, which, goddamn, the elves are played by kids, and they're told that they're thousands of years old, and at one point, he's going to bed, because they're just like, this is a clause. They explain, like, you have to do this for a calendar year. Like, there's no way out of this. So he's going to lay down and shit, and he's just like, I gotta be dreaming. Like, I guess he's saying, like, I don't believe it. I'm seeing it, but I don't believe it. And this elf comes to bring him the hot cocoa. She's like, it took me, thousands of years to perfect this combination of stuff. And he just like takes a sip and he's like, oh my God, that's very, very good. And then she, they're doing more conversation. And he's just like, you're a very, what do you say? You're a very,
he goes, thousands of years old, huh? You look good for your age.
That's right. Yeah, because she's just like, I appreciate that, but I'm seeing somebody in rapping, and he just has this look like, oh my fucking God, that's not what I meant at all. But yeah, they go to bed that night, and it's also heartwarming because like you can see he's excited that he's having the night with his kid, and his kid's actually happy.
Yeah,
because that's all he really wants is for his child to be happy. And then the next morning, whenever everybody, wakes up and his mom comes there and he starts talking about all this shit, she gets pissed off at him for basically, like, this child has just had the night of his fucking life and he's excited, but the mom is being I'm sorry, but the mom's being a total cunt.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, how dare my child have an imagination or, to her knowledge that this is not real. How dare my child have an imagination and believe in Santa Claus and...
Well, what gets me is like, I understand that in the real world, you wouldn't believe this story.
Sure.
However, what I can't wrap my head around is like, okay, so to your knowledge, your ex-husband had a dream, and then that dream was told to the son, but then the son thinks it happened with him being there. I can understand if you were just like the mom that's just driving while he's telling the story and you're just like, oh yeah, that's nice, sweetie. You know, and you just don't believe it, but you just kind of let it go on.
Right.
No, she was just like, how dare you? And it's like, what the fuck?
I know, dude.
To your understanding, your child was told a dream. How dare you tell your child that you had a dream? Like that part is what gets me.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here the whole time going like, bro, you dodged a serious bullet with this bitch. Let her go.
Yeah.
Let her go.
Yeah.
But throughout the film, it gets worse for him and it gets worse for his kid, Charlie. And he starts putting weight on. And
rapidly.
Like, oh my God. Yeah. And the fucked up part is like Neil and Laura are sitting there saying, oh my God, you're changing your appearance to make this like facade, you know, more believable to Charlie, and you're psychologically damaging him and all this bullshit. And now with all the shit happening because the elves are like having all the lists delivered to his house and all this other bullshit, he goes and sees a doctor, which is it just me? Or wouldn't you think that they would, you know, believe that something is actually happening to him? Because like, who the fuck? I don't know if this is entirely possible. How the fuck do you gain 45 pounds in a week, dude?
Not only that, dude, like, that's impossible.
Right.
But even still, Scott, why don't you go and shave in front of them?
I said the same fucking thing whenever we were watching this the other night. I said, dude, all you got to do is go fucking shave your face in front of God and everybody and watch that shit just poof right back out.
Yeah, like, my guy, what are you doing? This is an easy fix. Or not an easy fix, but an easy explanation.
Yeah, because, I mean, they go so far as to have him arrested at one point. Like, I know we're flying through this movie, but God, there's really not a whole bunch to it other than, like, the...
Sad. Like...
It's very sad, dude, because the whole time... his kid is being just slowly taken from him. Like, they go to a judge and have the judge tell him that he is unfit to see him, and they strike his visitation rights from him completely.
Dude, okay. The way that I described Elf's deeper themes of psychological imbalance and whatnot, that is a very thin layer that I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of.
Right. That
was the plot to this. Everybody considers it this amazing Christmas classic comedy, and I'm like, motherfucker, this is kind of dark.
I will admit right now, there are a couple scenes in this movie where I got real fucking sad, choked up, cried, because I'm like, motherfucker. You know, like, in context of the movie, like, you know what's really going on, so you're sitting there like, this poor son of a bitch is getting his kid taken away. The child is visibly sad that it's happening.
Especially sad because he's like, Dad did nothing wrong. He's telling the truth.
Exactly. But eventually, like, there's a full transformation into being Santa. Like, the long ass white hair, the big fucking beard. I mean, the damn hat has like the microphone in it where like they're showing how they get all the presents done. But what's cool is seeing how slowly over the course of the year, Scott accepts his role as Santa Claus. And it's really cool because that's where he's just like, he's believing again. And there's one point where Neil and Laura are talking about in the psychologist / judge's chambers, or in the little hallway where, oh, when I was little, I wanted the mystery date play set. I never got it. Oh, I wanted the Oscar Mayer Wiener whistle. I never got it. That's when I stopped believing. I was 3. And they're just like, holy shit. Like, they quit believing at different ages because of not getting certain things. The scene that really hit home was after he got his rights taken and he's accepting being Santa Claus, and he takes Charlie with him, and they think he's kidnapped him, which is why he gets arrested. These elves bust him out of jail, and he shows up with Charlie at Laura and them's house. And everything is all of a sudden okay because both Neil and Laura like look at him, and I think it's the magic of him actually being Santa Claus. They see it. Like, they look at him and they're just like, holy fuck, like their whole childhood just like comes back. And she's like, holy shit, it's really you.
Yeah.
And even Neil is like, he's using his fucking brain power to suck us into this, you know. And then even he comes overwhelmed because like the elf shows up, Bernard, and he just
I fucking love
disappears.
Bernard.
Oh, dude, you know that's Wednesday Addams' love interest from Addams Family Values, right?
Really?
That's who that is. Yeah, David Krumholtz, I think is his name.
Dude, he was so good in this because whenever Charlie comes around him, he's just like, "How you doing, sport?" Like he's just such a nice big brother figure.
Exactly,
but
man.
he's such a cynical asshole to Sam Allen, and it's fucking great.
Oh, I know, dude. That relationship is probably one of the funnier dynamics of this movie.
That's the thing, like, because, okay, I said the movie is sad. It definitely has some comedic value to it.
And the comedy's good.
Oh, yeah, it's not bad at all. It's just like, as I was watching it, I think it's because I've only seen this movie one other time, and that's whenever I was a kid.
Right.
Not to say that I didn't like it as a kid. I did.
No, but you appreciate it more as an adult now.
Yeah, I had just only seen it once because, I don't know, it only came across my television once.
Yeah.
As an adult, I'm just watching this, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This is a fascinating film because it got made by the people in which it got made from. Like, I was blown away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wow.
Yeah. And in that sequence, you know, he tells Charlie, he's like, look, I think you need to spend Christmas Eve with them. They need you around as much as I do. And you can't be selfish. I have to go make Christmas happen for children all over the place.
He literally re-quoted what Charlie told him when he first got the gig.
Yeah. And it's cool to see Scott come full circle with himself where he's like, I realize I can't be selfish my damn self. I really enjoyed the roundabout storytelling with every character in this movie. Like, you go from really fucking hating the mom and Neil to understanding why they are the way they are.
Right, yeah.
And again, it all comes full circle. Like, he tells Charlie, anytime you want to see me, you know, you can shake the snow globe and I'll appear. And before he goes, he gives Laura and Neil those Christmas presents they never got. And I thought that was like, it was so dumb, but I cried right there. Like when that happened, when those presents dropped and they opened it, I was like, God damn it, this movie just fucking got me in the feels.
Yeah.
And he basically proves his identity to literally everybody because the cops all show up and the neighbors all show up. And then Neil finally apologizes to Charlie and Charlie forgives him. And the movie ends with Charlie shaking the snow globe. And then, you know, Scott comes back and he's like, let's go for a ride. And he takes off in the sleigh and they go finish delivering all the presents and stuff. And that's pretty much the Santa Claus, dude.
Yeah.
And goddamn, like it was a pretty, you know, decent pair up with both of these because I think there was like some good, serious, you know, father-son elements to both of them.
Yeah, yeah.
And also it had to do with the spirit of believing in Christmas and, you know, all the fantastical aspects of it.
I wish time travel was real so that I could do this same episode, but with little kid me, because it would have been two different opinions here. You know, like I would have appreciated the Santa Claus, but just as an adult, it just hits harder.
Oh, me too.
Like little kid me would have said, oh yeah, that was good, but Elf was better. And I'm just like, nah, kid, give it another decade.
You think we're on the same page on this one?
I think so.
So the Santa Claus is absolutely the better of the two this week?
Yes.
For what it is.
Yeah, because if you just want to go in for a Christmas comedy, then no, Elf is better.
Elf is absolutely the better comedy, but if you're talking in terms of like the movie that got made, the plot, and like I think as a whole.
Yes. Execution, all of that.
Yeah, I think the Santa Claus, like, it's not even like a barely win, but it definitely wins based on that criteria to me. It had a good mix of the serious and the comedy and shit you can learn from.
Right.
While Elf is by no means a terrible movie, it
No.
just didn't get the edge this week.
No, like I said, it's a comedy, you know? It had its serious moments, don't get me wrong, but as I'm watching it, I'm like, yeah, this is the movie of my childhood. I adore this movie.
Sure.
But it just doesn't have that weight, you know?
Yeah, that was the factor for me. It's as stupid as that sounds. My deciding factor when watching both of these movies years later which one of these motherfuckers is going to make me shed a tear? Because for me, I'm getting to that age where I'm like the Kevin Smith of I will cry at almost anything, just the way I did at Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
I cried at every goddamn thing in that movie.
Oh, that. What a movie.
Right. And
We'll get to that later.
Yeah, we will. And this, the Santa Claus as a father, and I mean both movies as a father, but especially the Santa Claus as a father, I didn't go exactly through this, but I have both been through divorce and also, trying to, see my kid.
Right.
So I get that. That's why it hit me extra. I related hard to, both aspects, but much more with the Santa Claus. And goddamn, what a movie. Like literally 1994, dude, what a movie. We just passed its 28th anniversary as a film.
God damn.
Or 27th, I'm sorry. It'll be 30 years old in 2024.
Fuck.
Yeah. So Elf is officially going to be 20 in 2 years.
Come again?
Yeah, so let that just kind of simmer in for everybody out there listening. You're old as fuck, okay?
My God.
You're old as fuck.
Wow.
Visit supermediabrospodcast.com for past, present, and future episodes.
Super old bros.
That's right.
Super old
Super
media.
old.
Oh my God.
Check out all the other shows from the OddPods Media Network by visiting oddpodsmedia.com. Leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, GoodPods, Podchaser, and now on Spotify. Yeah, you heard that right. You can go leave us a rating on Spotify.
Go do it.
Right now.
Give us 5 stars.
5 stars.
Or you could be Dave Meltzer and give us 7 stars.
That's right. For all you wrestling fanatics out there, go above and beyond. Follow us on social media. All the links are in the show notes below for all of that. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Buy some merchandise. It's Christmas time.
The merch.
Next week, we're going to come back with our Spider-Man No Way Home discussion.
Woo!
Cannot wait.
Oh my good God.
Spoilers abound, so if you haven't seen it, make sure you do so before you listen to us, because we're going to talk about all the shit.
Yeah, we waited until after probably, I would say, peak traffic to get listens and downloads.
Well after the embargo.
Yes. Just so that we can talk about this movie. We sacrificed our own trafficking for you.
That's right. But we're going to come up to that red light during the traffic. We're going to stop and we're going to talk about it.
Amen.
Amen, Brother Ben.
We not going to yield. We going to stop.
That's right. Full stop. Be sure to come back and check that shit out. And we're going to have a slew of great fucking content coming your way in 2022. Thank you so much for hanging out with us for the entirety of 2021. Lots of good shit coming your way. God damn it. We're kicking it all off with Spider-Man No Way Home. And by the way, Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you sons of bitches out there. This is a special Christmas Day edition. Yeah. So
Merry Christmas.
That's right. We hope you had a shit ton of hot chocolate.
Motherfucker.
Eggnog, presents, all that shit. Beautiful. What is that, velvet? It's beautiful. But yeah, we're going to get the hell out of here and go finish our Christmas.
Yes, sir.
So, until next year. Yeah. I've been Midnight Agent Raw.
And I'm a special delivery dev.
Shades on.
We're off.